I think the thing, and I don't want to get bogged down in the numbers from this game because I'm really interested in kind of seeing how they use the players that they have, because I think they're going to have to play mostly small. I think, Tom, I'm sure you got a chance to see some of this game last night. I got to see a lot of it, actually, as I did the Sirius XM show that I do for the PGA Tour from my house, because the flu bug has hit the Jones family. And so I did not go over to Trey's house. So in the background, very sneakily, I had on the big screen there.
Yeah, how could it be sneakily if it's an 85-inch of glory?
Yeah, it's off to the side. But what I was able to do was put that off to the side, look straight ahead at the computer with the camera like that, see to my left the game going on. We had a lengthy interview with Pepperdine National Championship winning coach, Coach Beard. And so because of it, I was able to sit back in the cut and let Trey talk to his fellow golf coach about their big match.
Yeah, they talk about the four-leaf clovers that were grown in the ground at the particular match because the kid with the floppy hat was chipping in from, ridiculous lies and hitting 30-footers. He did. He followed it up and played well, but, that was a lot of low percentage situations went Pepperdine's favor, else Florida State might have been in the situation that Pepperdine was, which is to play for a natty.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that happened because Florida State could have won the national championship. But alas, it did not happen. And good sports, the two of them talking it through. But it gave me a chance to sit back and watch Florida State basketball tonight during the course of that interview. Bottom line is, I think, your size is an issue in the middle in terms of developed talent. They don't have a lot of it. Malik Osborne is going to have to carry the day. We suspected as much going in. Equipped to do it. By the way, Malik played great, 18 points. That's a career high for him. Way back in the day at Rice, he scored over 20 points, but at least in his time here in Tallahassee, that's a career high. He was 4 of 6 from the field, 1 of 3 from beyond the arc, 9 of 12 from the free throw line. He also had 13 boards. They had a size advantage, not surprising there. I think when you watch Anthony Polite, you just realize how far that young man has come.
They have a different court in
Everything
case
looks
try
so
that.
smooth now watching him play the game. And he looked great yesterday, 17 points, 5 of 9 from the field. Can't leave him open. It's as good as that. I mean, you can't leave him open. It started a year ago, really.
Yep.
And you started to realize if he caught the ball in rhythm or squared his shoulders, man, that ball has a real good chance of going in. Really quick, really aggressive, is going to be really one of the more fun players to watch play this year. And, hey, so I should note this because, we were hard on him a year ago, and I'm worried he was a lost cause. Let's hope that the 2 exhibition games combined with the game last night is a better indicator of where Raekwon Evans is going to be, because he played well. And it was nice to see because look, that guy there, he fell off a cliff and it got to a place where you thought, I don't know that that's coming back.
I don't know that he wants to be out there.
Right. It was an ugly deal a year ago, and who knows what was going on. It was such a weird season. But he looked so much better. I'm not talking about just last night. He looked good in the exhibition game. So, we'll play better competition and we'll see. But he at least looks assertive and confident.
Yeah, the one thing I'll say, too, is, Malik couldn't find a home last year in that rotation, and we documented that. You interviewed Coach Ham in December of last year, and he said, yeah, we're still looking. Like, he didn't have an answer. You asked him specifically. And that was the way it was the whole season. Turk, Raekwon Gray was obviously going to play ahead of Malik because of all that he became at the tail end of his career, and they played a lot of similar situations in a similar spot on the court. So what do you do? Because they didn't really want to play small per se. But this year with this lineup, first of all, he looks to be in tip-top shape. Malik went to work in the gym in the offseason. He looks even better, and he looks like, he's grown in. He's a grown man now. But he also is somebody who, even before there was a bona fide place for him in the rotation, he was an emotional leader for this team, for this program. Now he has the minutes to go along with it, and he's clearly the heart and soul of this particular group. You can tell. I saw him giving a lot of praise to Cameron Fletcher on the steal. That was well. It's nice to see him play, and it's nice to see him. I mean, look, we're rangy. We're always rangy, even if we play quote unquote small. That doesn't mean anything to guards or wings outside the perimeter, because when we extend, we're just such a large team. But around the glass is where that concern is going to be. I just noticed that Malik Osborne clearly was the loudest player on the court, communicating, calling out rotations, praising his teammates. Well, you were wondering who was going to take that role, because Terrence Mann has played that role. Tony Douglas way back in the day. There's some other examples I'm sure that I'm missing in recent times. Trent Forrest. But Fee, on his final team, was one of those vocal guys. I mean, there's been a ton of them over the years, and it was who was going to be that player from the holdovers, because Raekwon Evans had basic questions about his game. Anthony Polite is more of a lead-by-example type player. Well, Malik looks to be that guy who's going to be the emotional presence for this team.
Another one, because I think he'll take it over pretty quickly, and that's Caleb Mills. Not bashful, really aggressive, cares to play on both ends of the floor, can get his own shot, gets to the basket. By definition, he's going to be a guy I think just will lead this team, because I think when they need a basket.
Oh, yeah.
The 5 steals came in 17 minutes.
Right. Well,
fun team. They've got their weaknesses, and they get a real strong test beginning Sunday down in Gainesville at lunchtime. We'll be watching that game along with the NFL games, because, every year I worry about that game, because it's not as if Florida doesn't recruit well. It's that Mike White does less with more, and time and again, Florida State gets that win. But this is on the road, and this is a kind of a transformative team for him, and that they have a lot of new pieces working together. And you saw some lapses in the first half defensively. Can they get that together? Because they'll be made to pay down in Gainesville if they don't. There's enough, I think, polished scores for Florida that would be a problem. So we'll see. I just know this, that the athleticism is there. The shooting will be there. They're going to end up having some issues with their bigs because they're not developed. This is I would say this about these 3 guys specifically, and I wrote it down. Butler, Ballard, McLeod, and Gom didn't play. He's got a concussion, but I think he kind of falls in this category too. They've got a long way to go, those guys, in terms of being polished post players. Now, they'll alter a ton of shots because they are so long.
Right.
And
well, can you put 25 minutes together between those guys,
right,
rack up 6 or 7 fouls, and adjust, force teams to adjust a lot of their shots, a lot of their angles when they drive the basket?
Yeah. So, I mean, we'll see. It's a fun team. They've got a lot of options. They got a lot of depth. They got a lot of fouls to give, and that's always a good thing, too. So there you go. We are aware, for those of you that are listening and watching on Warchant TV, that we had some audio issues. That is now fixed. Our apologies there, but they should be good to go now. Have not gone over my Redemption Thursday picks, pretty much just looking back at the night that was Florida State basketball as we look ahead to the football games this weekend. Actually, games beginning tonight that I'm interested in. It's a good Thursday night. It's a good sort of warm up to get into the weekend here. If you're a sporting guy or gal, I think there's some opportunities tonight. I even included Tom, and they're right here. Wagers are ready to go. An NBA game. We are.
What?
Yeah. We are branching out. It's legal. We're branching out now. We don't have to hold back, baby.
Wait a minute.
Here
Redemption Thursday dips into the NBA waters?
Yes, it does. Man. Well, I think there's some opportunity there, Tom. You got to seize opportunities while they're there. I do think that perhaps as we go through the lot of the games here, or the card, if you will, that we may see some interesting GIFs and the like, as typical if you're watching, because there are a few of these that I think even I would hit the button as an obvious on Jeff's card moment.
Here's the thing. Typically, and I got the email from you, it was just before showtime when we were in our prep meeting. I didn't read it. There's too much other stuff going on in the background. Matthew puts the graphic together with the Redemption Thursday wagers and the ATM and the Metro Deli logo and all that stuff, and we appreciate our friends at Metro Deli. Sometimes I see these things in advance, so I know when to hit the Cat 5 button.
Yeah, you start laughing.
But I am looking forward to seeing and or hearing these picks for the first time this week, because I'm going in blind.
Yeah.
But I usually can tell. I usually can tell when you're up to something.
I think our audience can usually tell, too. I mean, it's usually not that difficult, I don't think.
Yeah. Is there a Marshall game this week?
There's no Marshall game this week. I wish there had been. But alas, without further ado, here we go. Texas A&M, the Fighting Jimbo Fishers, playing good football right now. They found their quarterback. They're playing good defense. They run the ball. They get teams to turn the ball over. I know that game day is headed to the Grove, but I like A&M on the road to lay the 2.5 and beat Ole Miss here.
Okay.
That's a good Texas A&M team. They've turned into a good football team after stumbling and throwing up all over
Nearly
themselves
losing to Colorado and all that stuff.
All that stuff. They have found their way. Give me Texas A&M. Our thanks, as Tom alluded to, as we do these picks, to Metro Deli, downtown Tallahassee. It's a staple if you're coming into Tallahassee. You got to swing by the Metro Deli. Great food, and even more than that, it's the cool people that run the place that have invested in us, and we're all friends there, and we love the Metro Deli. So
don't go right now. They're observing Veterans Day. They're closed downtown because a lot of operations downtown are closed on this day. But tomorrow, back in play, and remember their breakfast is very good.
Very, very good. And I started the show for those that missed the audio by saying Happy Veterans Day to everybody and doffing the cap. Tom and I both have fathers that are veterans. And
we do.
I have a brother that is a veteran. My granddad was. Go on down the list. Yes, absolutely. Speaking of which, give me Air Force on the road, minus 2.5 against Colorado State. I like Air Force on the road. Not much of a roadie. Not much of a road trip, given where they're located. And we're Colorado. Hey, have you noticed a trend with me in Colorado State?
Yes, I have. Mm-hmm. And I'll bet Adazio has something to say to you about that.
He can be as angry as he wants. You can be as mad as you want to be, Coach. Those guys aren't ready to play. Week in and week out, not ready to play. Give me Houston minus 14 in the first half against Temple. I'll wait.
I can feel it all the way down in my plums.
Woo! So let me talk to you. Temple has mailed it in. They have decided they are not interested in playing football. Teams pounce on Temple on the regular. And so I'm just going to leave it be. I'm going to take Houston to go in there, get up big early. I'm not going to risk a backdoor cover. I'm just going to say, here you go. Go ahead and take that big lead early. I'll give the 14 to lowly Temple, who've called it a day in the first half. All right, Auburn hosting Mississippi State. Just give me the under 51 here. Gets bogged down. Good defense, I think, in this game for both teams. I think both would like to run the ball, don't exactly trust their quarterbacks all that much to win a football game. Mississippi State can't make field goals. I think it adds up to an under.
That's usually a good tell, too, on unders because you get stopped in the red zone. Either you're all too aggressive or you just miss a 37-yarder, and the next thing you know, it's an empty possession and 4 minutes have come off the clock, and it looks good on the total. But that's interesting to take an under with Mike Leach.
That offense doesn't do nearly what everybody thought it would when he got into the SEC, and he had that first game against LSU, and he lit it up. And turns out everybody lit up LSU that year, and on the right night they still do. But I don't buy it. I don't buy him. I think he's a crackpot who went from being amusing to absolutely loathsome. So there you go. I'm going to take Auburn and the under 51 total there. Go under. NC State's getting a point at Wake. I think NC State should be favored. I think they're the better team right now. Wake's defense is all beat to hell. I first guessed Wake would lose to North Carolina last week and mentioned it on the show that it would be a wild shootout. It was an easy guess for everybody involved. Wake can still score a lot of points, but they sure ain't stopping anybody. And that includes Army. They don't stop anybody. They're beat to hell on defense. So I like NC State just to win the game outright.
Was it us talking about this? I feel like it was. I don't know if it was on the air or not. We have so many conversations. But that I remember watching, got home, caught the tail end of game day because they're doing the picks, and I saw the total. It was like 76.5 or 77, and I was like, why am I not betting this right now? Why am I not betting the over for North Carolina Wake Forest? It should be 110, and it was.
Yeah. The hard part is that anytime you get over 70 points, it just takes a couple of stalled drives or mistakes in the red zone for either
slow quarter.
team. Yeah. Just something weird happens, and it's just hard to get up there for that number. Now, again, with these two teams, or in the case of Wake, North Carolina, it really did feel like defense would be optional in that game. It turned out to be.
Well, and Wake does that every year. Sometimes it's Duke. Army. That was the crazy one. But, they play 2 or 3 games, sometimes Syracuse like that, where they're touching the mid-40s easy, both teams.
Yeah, weird team. But give me NC State. I think Wake is fading fast right now, mainly due to injuries on defense. Give me NC State to win the game. I've got Nevada plus 3.5 against San Diego State. I've kind of enjoyed this Nevada team all year long. I've bet on these San Diego State games.
I've had a decent feel for this. I think Nevada is a live dog to win the game outright.
Wrong team's favored.
Well, give me the 3 points here on the road against San Diego State. Yeah, you can hit the siren because not too many people are betting, not in Florida, the Nevada-San Diego State game.
Holy Jesus.
BC got the quarterback back a couple weeks ago. Unfortunate for us. He's going to be in the NFL. He's got talent. Now, he's rounding into form. They had to win with defense against a god-awful Virginia Tech team, but I think he's probably repped enough here. Georgia Tech doesn't play defense. I'm not in love with Boston College's defense, to be honest with you, against an offense with a pulse. I think this number's too low. I coupled this with my numbers somewhere in the low 60s, so I took the over 54 here between these two teams. Boston College, Georgia Tech, take the over 54.
Are those the Jeff Cameron power ratings?
I've actually begun to develop them this year.
Oh,
and I
really?
do a thing at my house. I have a little chart next to my computer when I sit down, and I've actually it's a compilation, I'm not going to lie, of about 6 or 7 different people's numbers that I've charted through the course of the year who seem to have made the most amount of sense to me and their methodology. I'm thieving the way they calculate, and I'm combining their collective as a brain trust numbers and using them on my behalf. So I like this.
Sounds kind of like a meta-analysis.
It is, and it's fun to do. So I'm not going to lie. I didn't do this all on my own, but I took a lot of people whose numbers I do respect, and I started looking at them closer, and then I combined them, and all of a sudden I had a system.
Is it laminated, this chart?
No.
So then it's not final yet. So it's still, once it's laminated, that's when you know that you've got your power ratings.
If I start bringing in laminated power ratings, Tom, we're going to shift gears and do 3 hours a day, every day about gambling on everything from grocery shopping to, the price of gas.
The over-under's 2.5 onions.
Yeah.
Remember, it's winter. They're smaller, so I think they're going to buy 3 or more in this instance.
Wait, let's see what... where are we looking here under on my card? No. It says that you take the under on my card, Tom. I am taking the over.
Yeah, did I say that wrong?
No, I'm talking about Tom on the chat here. He says it says under on your card. No, see, it says Jeff takes, you take. Jeff takes, you take. See, I'm taking the over. You then have to take the under. Oklahoma is giving 5.5 to Baylor. I was going to steer clear of this game.
You've been on them every week. Has it been? It's been somewhat okay for you?
OU or Baylor?
OU.
OU has been weird for me. I either get it really right or really wrong. And I ended up looking at Baylor favorably until a week ago when they really kind of screwed the apple cart there and messed me up. So I like that I combined things there.
That's better than pooch, I suppose.
Yeah. They're just apples.
It really does not.
I hope you get the right apple.
Yeah.
That's all.
Ouch.
I took Oklahoma. I laid the 5.5. I think they'll run the ball. And I gave you a little. And now he didn't put it all in there. Nor do we have the NBA moniker because it was last second, I know. But I have a little 2-team 6-point teaser pleaser, y'all. I've been good on these. Had a couple of setbacks, but on the whole, I'm 5-2 with the 6.2 team teaser pleaser.
All right.
5-2. That's going to net you a profit, ladies and gentlemen. So here we go. We're going to take the Ravens, use the 6 points, bet it down to minus 1.5 against the sorry-ass Dolphins. Basically, you're taking the Ravens to win the game.
Yep,
Tom's nodding his head. He feels good about that.
One down.
Then we're going to take the Browns, who are actually underdogs in getting points here. I'm going to get them at plus 8.5. I'm going to take the 6 points and move it on up there. Plus 8.5.
You know who they're playing?
I do, but I temporarily forgot.
I led you astray. That's my fault.
No, that's actually my fault. Cleveland is playing whom? I had it listed, and then I just knew that over a touchdown. I loved it, and I went, okay, we're good.
They're playing New England.
Yeah, they're getting points against a middling New England team.
Interesting.
I get them at 8.5.
Well, it might be because of the COVID protocols. No Nick Chubb. It's going to be close because he's vaccinated.
Yes,
so
yeah.
You got to watch that closely.
Yeah, I will. I like them at plus 8.5 regardless because one side of the ball for Cleveland is elite, and that is their defense on the whole.
Right.
The Patriots have an average to below average offense at best. I'm getting 8.5. Come on, baby.
And it's not like Dearness Johnson's bad. When he came, his first start was the highest graded rushing performance of the season for anybody, Derrick Henry included.
When do they get?
He's not bad.
When do they get Hunt back?
I don't know. Everybody's always heard for them.
They're loaded though in the backfield. So I'm Yeah, give me the Browns plus 8.5 on that combo. 2-team teaser pleaser there. So they could lose by a touchdown. That's fine. 1 o'clock, sleepy game, good defense, cold weather, wind. Forget about it. Forget about it. We're doing it.
I see your NBA pick. It made it.
Yeah, it made it. It just doesn't say NBA next to it. Just people might be, what is that?
Oh, okay.
Clippers, Heat. Combination of factors I won't get into. You guys aren't interested. As we move on with NBA picks, I'll tell you the reasoning behind this. This has to do with home road splits and all this good stuff. Under the total of 211.5. Under. Be watching that game's tonight. I wanted to kickstart the weekend.
Oh,
let's go.
You were just waiting. You were just waiting.
That chip is good. There it is.
It's been a busy week here in the Grand Warchant Enterprises and related businesses. It's been busy. So I see
unbelievably
you want to get busy on the board.
I want to get busy on the board. I want to lock in a profit on a Thursday.
Oh yeah.
Take my winnings on a Thursday.
Spending money.
That's right. I'm going to be playing with the house money come Friday and Saturday, baby. We start with my Clippers Heat 211.5 under.
Hey, hun, guess who covered? Guess we're getting 2 orders of Tostones from Gordo's tonight.
Oh, man. You know, I think I'm going to grill some tasty
salmon.
Well, that's always an option.
That's my guess.
I may get some Chilean sea bass this weekend. It's the Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Applications, onboarding, payroll, termination. Business owners and managers, you know these are the processes that take away too much time from what you do best. But what if there was a locally owned, responsive solution that would charge you a fraction of the big national payroll companies? Sound too good to be true? It's not. North Florida Payroll Services is Tallahassee owned for nearly 15 years. And in that time, their prices have never changed. The reason North Florida Payroll Services can do that? Exceptional customer service that constantly evolves with the latest technology. From application to termination, for turnkey service for your payroll and HR services, trust a Tallahassee expert and save yourself time and money. North Florida Payroll Services. Online at northfloridapayroll.com.
Hey guys, it's Greg Tish here. If you know me, you know how much I love to grill, smoke, and cook outside. With the holidays just right around the corner and the cooler weather, there's nothing better than a backyard fire pit or a custom outdoor kitchen. But where do you start? Well, you start at Hearth and Patio of Tallahassee. They have everything for gas grilling, charcoal, standalone grills, built-ins, custom kitchens, unique high-end fire pits, and you can even build your own pizza oven. And don't forget about maintaining your indoor fireplace. If it hasn't been used in a while, it's a good idea to have Hearth and Patio come take a look at it to make sure it's safe to use. Or you can replace the whole thing and transform the look and style of your room. If it has anything to do with fire, you need to call Hearth and Patio. Write this number down. It's 727-4282. That's 727-4282. Or you can always check out their website to view all their products and services at hearthpatiotallahassee.com.
Your body is a masterpiece designed to heal itself from within. Learn how to maximize your health by tuning in to Phenomenal Health with me, Dr. Ryan Finn. Saturdays at 2:30. Experience true health today and call Finn Chiropractic at 386-7700.
This is Patty Wilson.
Oh, I'm sorry. We're ready.
He's recording.
Why are you always saying your last name? It's Patty and Scott. Everybody knows
know that.
Patty and Scott.
I don't know. This is Patty Wilson. This is. I am Patty Wilson.
What is the idea behind said promo?
It's for Patty's Playhouse. We're on Patty's Playhouse Saturdays at 11. Tune in. That's stupid. Just tune in. Saturdays at 11. Patty Wilson, Patty's Playhouse. House talk with a happy ending.
Each and every time.
This holiday season, it's more important than ever to show some love to our local businesses when tackling your shopping lists. Real Talk 93.3 and the Office of Economic Vitality want to encourage everyone to think local first before you click that Shop Now button from the Big Box website.
Instead, consider checking out some of our very own local businesses like For Pet's Sake, dedicated and passionate care for animals, both large and small, including personalized play dates while you're at work or overnight care when you're away.
Tallahassee Nurseries, your Christmas tree headquarters.
headquarters, offering the highest quality trees in Tallahassee. Reserve your tree in advance, and Tallahassee Nurseries will keep it watered and maintained until you're ready for pickup.
And divvy up. Custom and creative sock designs that make the perfect stocking stuffer or secret Santa gifts. And for every pair of socks you buy, another pair of socks is donated to help the homeless in need. 'Tis the season to love your local. Find a full list of participating local businesses to love at oevforbusiness.org.
That's oevforbusiness.org.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
About killed myself, but man, did it feel good afterwards. There is nothing like a finished workout at Orange Theory Fitness. Go see my friends at Orange Theory Fitness. Just dip your toes in the water. Find out what I'm talking about. I could fill your head with grand promotions, and they've got deals for everybody, including first workout being completely free.
Yeah, so dip your toes for free.
Yeah, you get to do it for
That's
free.
right.
First class always free. They give you great deals too when you get your heart rate monitor, which you're going to want anyhow, but you get this one that I use on my wrist and get discounted. It's so many good things. I'll get more detailed later. I just sort of off the cuff because I actually was thinking of how sore I am. We did these goblet squats, Tom, in addition to goblet squats, in addition to running up hills, will bust your ass.
Well, that's where it's good that you have an SUV, a utility vehicle that's high up off the ground, because if you've got a car that's lower to the ground and you do goblet squats, getting out of the car is really difficult.
Yeah, you should check them out. Give them a call, 850-895-9683. It's Orange Theory Fitness. I met a person who was doing their first workout the other day, and they had heard it on the show, and that made me smile. Not just because it's good, because I have a symbiotic relationship with those guys, but I was happy somebody was convinced to give it a go by yours truly, which is cool, because I think you'll like it. I really do. Somebody asked in the chat if I'm taking the Noles with the points. I'm not touching this game other than maybe the over. We brought it up on College Sportsbook. I don't like the game, but I'll tell you something. From a non-gambling perspective, we're just talking about the football game, and obviously I have a rooting interest. So let's bring it back home and remove the clinical aspect of breaking down offense and defense and numbers, and rather just talk about the game. From a rooting interest, I'll be a homer here for a second, and decidedly so. Obviously, I'm going to walk into that stadium. I'm walking in with my father and my two boys. I'm going as a fan on Saturday. I am not going as a media member, although I'll play that role on Sunday when I rewatch the game. But I'll be cheering my head off on Saturday. Florida State-Miami always does something to me. It's my favorite game. It's my favorite rivalry. I like this one much more than I do Florida State-Florida. For other people, depending on the time you were in school or your family backgrounds, it could be opposite. I know plenty of Noles that look at the Florida game as the biggest game in the rivalry, right?
That's me.
But to me, it's Florida State-Miami. You got to remember when I started going to games and when I was in school and all that game really was, and we did this on Warchant.com, a look back at some of the bigger moments. That show could have been, I don't know how long it was, me, Corey, and Gene doing that show, Tom, but it probably could have been double in length because we all have all these memories of these plays and these moments and this great rivalry. And I mentioned at the start of the week that I'm saddened that this rivalry has had to take a back seat to so many other lesser rivalries and games across the country, at least in terms of national prominence, because this deserves better. Now, I'm biased, but it deserves better. There was a time, I reference it all the time on this show, that this game captivated a nation. And one of the reasons that it did is that there were always, literally, because the kids love to say literally after everything these days, national championship implications on the line when the game was played. And in addition, there was a good chance that no matter where you lived, should I go with Topeka or Sheboygan? Either way, no matter where you were,
Rock Hill,
South Carolina, you watched this game because you knew you were going to be watching for a few hours a bunch of NFL players, guys that you were going to watch on your TV come Sundays in the not too distant future. So you saw electrifying plays, electrifying players, polarizing moments, unique coaches, characters, if you will, of the game, like going back to Jimmy Johnson and all of that. And of course, Bobby Bowden, the legend of the game. So you had so many moments there. And I hope we get back to it. It's going to be difficult to get back to it, not because I'm worried about Florida State regaining its standing in the world of college football. It's a different discussion to talk about whether or not they'll ever truly dominate the world of college football in the way that in which they did for the better part of 15 years. But certainly they'll get back to being a playoff contender and a conference champion. It's just taking longer than we'd like. I don't know about Miami, and I think Miami fans, if they're being honest, don't know either. They've now been waiting 20 years. And in addition to that, they have not invested in their program in the same way that Florida State has invested in theirs. And for Florida State, we wish we could invest even more because we know that's what it's going to take to surpass a Georgia and the way they're recruiting and the way that they've invested in recruiting, or an Alabama or a Clemson for that matter. But these are different conversations as far as these two programs go, and the true fans and the alumni and the supporters of both schools, no matter what, if it's just because you're from the area or whatever it might be, if you've got passion for these two teams, well, you know what I'm talking about. You know that feeling, and the feeling you used to get, and I don't get it now. I will on Saturday. I know that because for me, and you can attest to this from the times we've been on the roof where I punch you during plays.
That's correct.
But for me, seeing the uniforms on the field at the same time is the trigger.
That's the precise moment. That's when I could have filed the police reports. Yes.
It's the trigger, seeing them come out of the tunnel and then seeing our colors clash with their colors. But it used to be so much more. And what I mean by that is the second the clock struck 0 on a Saturday preceding the Miami game, my thoughts immediately turned to that game, that Saturday night, that Sunday morning, whatever it might be. The second I could grab my collective thoughts about what I just saw and what it meant and what is it going to mean for the next week. And as we built towards traditionally that matchup in October, every result, every play, every series, every decision for me had to do with the effect it would have in the Miami game. This guy getting hurt, this guy coming on, coach making a good or bad decision, in my opinion. What does that mean for when the game is on the line against Miami? What does that mean, our inability to get a pass rush or to block it up or to have a pass rush or block, like as it relates to Miami? That's the way I always viewed all of these moments preceding that game. And then there came the moment where it all culminated, whether I was walking into Doak Campbell Stadium or down in the old Orange Bowl. Nothing like getting out of the car for the tailgate and smelling all that urine down in Miami. It's omnipresent. And then knowing that there was a vibe of danger in the air. But I always loved this because going down to the Orange Bowl and tailgating and doing that as a Nole, there was that sense of danger. There was an ominous feel, and it was an energy. There was also the smell of cigars and good food. And it was always there. I'll take it with me forever. And the rivalry is that for me. It will be again on Saturday afternoon when they kick it off and I see the two teams clash. I just wish that it could rekindle a little bit of the magic it once had. So for me, this is the game where I'm most like a fan in the sense that I was a fan when I was 14, 15, 16, 17 years old. 21 years old, 23 years old. I think it started to wane as your priorities and perspectives change as you get older. But man, those feelings, that is something that we all have. And it's one of the things that I love most about college football, because when you travel and you visit other places and you're around fans who have that same thing, but for a different rivalry, I love listening to them talk about it. Like, I would love for you and I, Tom, to be able to travel together and go to, as I've said many times before, a Michigan-Ohio State game, an LSU Auburn game, or an LSU Florida game, or something like that, or whatever, whatever one we
Auburn,
chose.
Georgia, LSU, Florida.
Auburn, Alabama, whatever it might be, right? Just to listen to those fans who are equally as passionate about their teams as we are ours.
Sure.
Talk about what the rivalry means in the various moments and the plays and all of those things. And it brought back memories yesterday recording that video, because I was in the student section with Stephen Rafferty. I mentioned that on the show yesterday in 93. And I can remember the play, and I can remember Matt Fryer breaking free, and I can remember all of those things. And so, you go through the years and you kind of look back, or whether it's, it doesn't have to be 93. It could be any of the 90, 95, 97, all the years throughout the 90s where that was just every game. It felt like the biggest thing in the world. And then we traveled too. We used to go down there, as I'm saying, down to the Orange Bowl. And every time we went there, it felt like the biggest deal in the world.
Yeah, I can tell you that in 2009, which was my second and final Miami game in Tallahassee as a student, I was actually working with a radio station at that point as an intern. In 2009, that game was on a Monday. And my older friends who had graduated a year or two ago came up, stayed with us for the long weekend. And that was one of my favorite weekends I've ever experienced in Tallahassee, because it was a combination of so many things. It's like you see the future in front of you. You have your old friends back, so you get the nostalgic feel to it. Even though they've been gone for a little bit and you're all in your early 20s, it still feels different than when you're all in undergrad together. And we're watching football on Saturday together. I mean, like, the whole weekend was just this big celebration. And then Jarman dropped the ball, and that's the unfortunate end to this
and then
tale.
Jarman dropped the ball
with 2 full seconds left to go on the clock, but
which somehow got to 0.
Par for the course for this godforsaken conference and their officials. Let's hope that they don't step in again this weekend, because remember, 2 years later, 2011, that was Mike Harris picking up a fumble, returning it for a touchdown. They said it was an incomplete pass,
which
somehow,
is crazy.
some way.
Yeah.
That was Carlos Williams returning the second half opening kickoff for a touchdown with a phantom holding call that, as many times as I replay that play, because it's amazing to watch that dude motor that fast, I don't see any holding call whatsoever.
Well,
and it was also the Nigel Bradham game, in which he hits Bird over the middle, nearly kills him, about killed him.
That is correct.
And they tossed him out of the game before targeting was even a thing. And even if targeting was a thing, they would have reviewed it and said, absolutely perfectly clean hit. So
I don't know,
let's hope that they don't butt their heads in.
But yeah.
What's that?
I don't know if the modern game they would have. They might have still said it was just too violent.
They would have said it was too violent, but they would have had to let him play. He did everything right. His foot was on the ground.
I know. I did the interview with the ACC commissioner on the Monday after the game.
Yep.
In which he was asked specifically, what should he have done? And then you could hear him stutter F his way through that answer and sound foolish. Admittedly, he texted me after that. And he was like, you got me.
Right.
Yeah. I always appreciated Michael Kelly for that, by the way, because after I asked him that question and he could not answer what should have been done differently, and he could not defend those officials, he then later on, I'm sure after he got done seething, because it sucks to get got, then proceeded to text me and say, hey, yeah, you're right, you got me.
Yeah, that was one Jeff Flanagan who was officiating that game.
Effing Flanagan. It's the Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Your local news now.
An independent investigation of former Taylor County School Superintendent Danny Glover finds reasonable cause that he repeatedly violated the school board's harassment policy in his conduct with a coworker. The 42-page report from Jacksonville attorney John F. Dickinson concludes Glover engaged in requests for sexual favors and other conduct of a sexual nature, created an intimidating, hostile, or offensive work environment, and threatened the coworker's job if she rejected him. Currently, Paul Dial is filling in as interim superintendent until the governor can find a replacement. The Leon County Sheriff's Office paid tribute to local veterans and transition transitional housing Wednesday afternoon. First stopping by Tallahassee Veterans Village, deputies then passed by the home front apartments about a half-mile away. Assistant Sheriff Steve Harrelson, a U.S. Army veteran himself, said it was about honoring those who have served. The sheriff's office handed out challenge coins, an item that's often used in the military and law enforcement as a token of appreciation. This is Rachel Lene with your Real Talk 93.3 local news update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at macklemoresystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Chance for scattered showers this afternoon, otherwise mainly cloudy. High temperatures reach up to 77, winds out of the south, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Partly cloudy skies tonight, slight chance for isolated rain showers, lows level off around 61. Slight chance for isolated rain showers again tomorrow. Highs level off around 76, mainly sunny skies and calm. This report is brought to you by The Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, 74.
What do you need tires on? Your car or truck, tractor or heavy equipment? At Nice Tire and Auto Service, we have tires for all of these needs. And we service your vehicle from air conditioning and computerized alignment to oil changes and everything else under the hood. Call Nice Tire and Auto today at 574-4100. That's 574-4100 for your scheduled maintenance. National accounts welcome at Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, just west of Capitol Circle.
If you weren't the owner of Gordo's and all those wonderful restaurants, Eddie, what would you be doing?
You know, I think I'd want to be I don't know what I'd want to be, a boat captain or a cowboy.
You know how to use a lasso?
No.
You'd have to do that if you were a cowboy.
Yeah, but I've never even been on a horse. It's not my place to be on a horse.
I agree. The horse thanks you. Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
It's Congressman Michael Waltz on the Greg Tish Show.
Good morning, Congressman. How are you doing?
Hey, doing well.
Again, just what you have to go through day in and day out. I don't know how you have hair left, or like Matty Rowe, just completely bald.
Hey!
Sorry.
And the irony of it all, the progressives are the tail wagging the dog. This whole bipartisan White House is a joke. We're just watching them eat their own.
The Greg Tish Show, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m., only on Real Talk 93.3. The Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness. 2 Tallahassee locations, Midtown on Thomasville Road and Northside in the Village Common Shopping Center. Online at orangetheoryfitness.com.
Your roof, the last thing you want to do is have to pay an additional $10,000 plus to remove your newly installed panels to have a new roof put on. There is benefit to replacing your roof at the same time you have solar panels installed, opportunities for huge tax credits. In addition, you want to make sure your roof can handle the weight of solar panels and that your roof will not need to be repaired or replaced. So there you go. Go make sure you check out our friends, T-Spark Enterprises Roofing and Construction, to learn what you need to do. You must learn. Woo! Oh, goodness gracious.
Our thanks to Eric Angel, as always. Happy Rivalry Week. He believes that FSU-Miami is, of course, the bigger rivalry than Seminoles Gators as well. So he shares your opinion.
Yeah, it's just a matter of how old you are and when you went to school or how you fell in love with Florida State and who probably broke your heart more or whatever it might be. But, yeah, it shapes the rivalry. Thanks, Eric. You're a peach, man. Always helping us out, and we do appreciate that. I think we had some video issues this last time instead of audio issues. I think we're good. You were frozen for like a good 5 minutes.
I was?
Yeah.
Well, there we go.
Frozen.
You know, it's been a day in that regard.
It's been a day.
As we recorded.
Your mic was a mess.
So I have not touched my... the microphone.
Gremlins are out, Tom.
Yeah, the microphone and then the console that we use for the post-game show. I haven't touched it since we did the Warchant.com post-game show, which you can catch 10 to 15 minutes after the conclusion of Miami and Florida State on Saturday. Gene Williams and myself will take your reaction and we'll have Mike Norvell's press conference, hopefully a victorious one, and reports from the press, I should say the press box, not the press conference, but the press box with Ira and or Corey. Anyway, haven't touched it since last week, and it didn't work at all today. You told me that I was sounding like a bee buzzing as I was speaking.
Yeah, Lou Holtz would have been happy. It was, we were sitting there, and then all of a sudden it was just, but it went along, the buzz went along with your inflection. So if you
it did?
Yeah, so no matter what you were trying to say, if you're like, can you hear me now? It would go. And so, yeah, it sounded, inaudible other than the buzz. We got Lou?
Well, I know that.
There it is.
They bring the head cold.
Yeah. It's
the giggle.
It is.
It's the giggle that's next
it's a
level.
crazy man's giggle. It's the I don't know what I'm saying. These aren't words. I can pick up on the fact that I'm trying to say something, but this sounds like me after 17 beers at the house.
Well, I know that. They bring the head cold.
It's somebody who, if they had that many beers, sitting next to Lou, perhaps by a fire, would go, I agree. They would absolutely have understood what he was saying there.
Yeah, like, what's USC doing here? You're all watching UCLA and San Diego State.
Yeah.
You know? Why is USC not going for it?
No. Right.
Because they're not playing, Lou.
Yeah.
Well, I know that. They bring the head cold.
So I actually do remember what he was trying to say. And I think I kind of, you know how the brain is, you know how they sometimes you'll see these little where you have to stare for a long period of time and then the brain works it out. I mean, I don't know what those things are called.
Yeah.
Optical illusions, but they're really not optical illusions. But
those books when we were kids.
Yeah,
they had those things.
Yeah.
The 3D things.
Your brain will fill in letters that are missing from words, and you've seen the structure of words so many times that you can just remove the H or the S or the U, and you can just keep reading it, and it can just be a bunch of spaced out letters, and you can read the paragraph.
Yeah.
Your brain will fill it in.
That's psychological closure.
It's really amazing, right? So one of my favorite things about that is when you're listening to Lou there, he's saying, I don't know how you can blame the head coach.
Right.
Now think about this. Play it in real speed. He's saying, well, I don't know how you can blame the head coach. And then he doesn't say that at all, but here you go.
Well, I know that. They bring the head cold.
That's rather remarkable. Now think about how effed up that is.
Right.
My man is just, he's absolutely incredulous how Reese Davis just blamed the head coach. And he's trying to laugh at that point by saying, I don't know how you can blame, the head coach. And then this is what you get.
Well, I know that. They bring the head comb.
Diabrame the head comb. It is unreal. Oh, Lou, that is really remarkable. They should study that. Institutions, higher learning, the effects on the brain of whatever.
The Holtz effect.
Yeah.
You call it the Holtz.
It is absolutely remarkable. You could do it for days.
Now, remember, class, today's lecture is not the only thing that's going to be on the midterm. We're going over the Holtz effect on Thursday. Be ready.
Khalil, hello, sir. As I've told Corey and Aslan, as 24-year-old, all I have is the lost decade. Jimbo era, which is good, but I would love to live through FSU, UF, be good at the same time. Seems like we take turns now. Yeah, the 90s featured all three schools operating at one point at peak efficiency. And it was because of that we would wear as a badge of honor the fact that we played both Florida and Miami, and those two bitch asses wouldn't play each other on the regular.
Well, we know who the number one BA was, if you will.
Correct.
That was in Gainesville.
But they wouldn't. And so we'd say, okay, well, we get it.
Cowards. That's what they have been for 100 years.
So I would then say, okay, that's fine. We play them both. And that was a beautiful thing because
just thanks to Khalil.
Yeah, thanks to Khalil as always. But yeah, it was tough, but you had to, it made it all the more enjoyable and rewarding in 93 and in 99. Of course, it led to heartache in a lot of other instances as well, but it was a glorious thing.
Yeah, that was for me. We played Florida so often with the bowl games on top of the annual game when I was between about 8 and 12 years old. That's what sold it for me. And Spurrier, he's a good foil too.
Yeah, whom we both grew to appreciate many moons later. It shows you the passage of time can do strange things. Hour number 2 forthcoming. Stay with.
Tallahassee's 30-year-old funny paper and American Legion Post 13 have joined forces to become Major Morale. The new magazine has 4 more pages of post activities and military information that you probably never knew. But don't worry, it's still as politically correct and newsworthy as always. Okay, it's the same funny stuff, but it's still only available at the sponsors' locations like Krispy Kreme, ABC Flooring, Keith Lawson Services, or Tallahassee Automobile and Collectibles Museum. See over 160 vehicles dating from 1894 to 2016 that include the first car ever built in America, 3 Batmobiles, trucks, and motorcycles. Other artifacts include the finest Steinway piano collection in the world, metal cars, antique boats and motors, sports memorabilia, case knives, and much more. Find them all at Mahan and I-10 or online at dacm.com.
Yes, Highway 27 Grill and Barbecue has amazing sandwiches and slow-smoked beef, chicken, and pork. But don't forget the sides, man. Have you tried Kenny's mac and cheese? Make a note. Kenny's cheesy, creamy, gooey mac and cheese will change your life. And that's just one side. Make the trip 1 mile north of Havana to Highway 27 Grill and Barbecue. Get your fill at the grill.
Hi, Chris Kraft for the Kraft Brothers dealerships. We've experienced a couple of blockbuster months recently. What does that mean to you? It means we have a whole lot of quality pre-owned vehicles. And just when there are rumors about high prices on pre-owned cars, you guessed it. At Kraft Nissan and Infinity, we are discounting every single pre-owned car, truck, and SUV on our lot. Instead of Dad dreaming of a new truck or SUV, why not bring him out to the Kraft Brothers lot on Mahan Drive to look at SUVs and trucks? Match what he wants. Kraft Pre-Owned has dozens of Toyotas, some Ford F-150s, and Ram 1500s. And of course, we have a big supply of Infiniti and Nissan vehicles. If we don't have what you're looking for, we will do our level best to find the car you want. Let other dealers charge you too much for pre-owned cars. Kraft Nissan and Infiniti are saying now, right now, is the best time of the year to save on a quality pre-owned vehicle. Kraft Nissan and Infiniti of Tallahassee on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco. And remember, if the car you are looking for doesn't have the Kraft tag on it, you'll pay too much, way too much.
There's fun to be had every night at the Corner Pocket. Take home prizes on Trivia Tuesdays and Beer Bingo Thursdays. And kickstart your weekend with Martini Fridays. Plus happy hour runs every weekday and game day specials every time the Noles take the field. Watch all the best games at the Corner Pocket's Vegas wall, featuring 560 inches of flat screen TV heaven.
Oh, really?
The best food, the best drinks, and the best place to watch all the games. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Coming up next, more of the Jeff Cameron Show. Live and local on Real Talk 93.3 WVFT, Greta, Tallahassee.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. President Biden has paid tribute to the nation's veterans and fallen military heroes. White House correspondent Greg Cluxton reports.
At Arlington National Cemetery, the president laid a wreath at the tomb of the unknown soldier. And he spoke at a Veterans Day service honoring those who have defended America.
All our veterans, past and present, we thank you, we honor you, and we remember always what you've done for us.
Greg Clugston, Washington.
Many Americans today are remembering Veterans Day. Military affairs analyst, retired Lieutenant Colonel Robert McGinnis says there's a simple thing that people can do to honor the occasion.
It's time to, I think, if you know a veteran, it's time to pull them aside and say, just thank you. Thank you for your sacrifice.
Lieutenant Colonel Robert McGinnis. Also at townhall.com, Republican Senator Lindsey Graham says his friendship with President Biden is at a breaking point. with a flawed pullout from Afghanistan. Bob Agnew has more.
In an interview, Senator Graham told Fox that the issues that arose from the botched pullout were preventable and something for which he says he will never forgive the president. The South Carolina conservative, one of the Senate's strongest defense advocates, describes Biden as, quote, the most consistently wrong man on foreign policy in my lifetime. He's also said the president should be impeached over the mishandled pullout, which left 13 service members dead in a suicide bombing and left an unknown number of Americans and Afghan partners in a country under Taliban control. Bob Agnew reporting.
On Wall Street, stocks have been mixed throughout the day. The Dow is down 139 points. The NASDAQ ahead 107. More at townhall.com.
Why are cash out refinances such a big deal right now? Uncle Ryan tries to teach me something.
I really feel like right now might be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I've been doing this for 18 years now, and I've just never seen a market where the rates are so low and values across the country have skyrocketed as much as they have. That combination, I remember one couple in particular, they were looking to do some home improvements at the house, but they were worried about their payments going up. Well, with rates being so low and them building up so much equity in the home over the last few years, we were able to get them the cash out for those home improvements, and their payments actually went down a little bit. Every single situation is different, but it does happen more often than you think. So it definitely does not hurt to call.
We are United Faith Mortgage.
United Faith Mortgage is a DBA of United Mortgage Corp. 25 Middle Park Road, Melville, New York. Licensed mortgage banker. For all licensing information, go to NMLSConsumerAccess.org. Corporate NMLS number 1330. Equal housing lender. Licensed in Alaska, Hawaii, Georgia, Massachusetts, North Dakota, South Dakota, or Utah.
Did you know metal roofs' survivability far exceeds that of traditional shingle roofs? It's time to consider a metal roof from Metal Roofing Sales of Tallahassee. We provide the best quality, least expensive material and accessories in the area, as well as material pickup and delivery. Our painted panels qualify for the City of Tallahassee's low-interest Energy Star loan program also. And don't forget about our veteran and law enforcement discount. Give Metal Roofing Sales a call today at 536-9123, 536-9123.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
Broadcasting live from Florida's capital city, this is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness on Real Talk 93.3. Now, stop what you're doing and listen closely. It's time for the Jeff Cameron Show in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Once scored 23 while with Rice. I forget sometimes that he was with Rice. It's a hell of a transfer.
All I know is Rice.
That's funny.
Horchie, Basmati.
4 of 6 from the field, 1 of 3 from beyond the arc, 9 of 12 from the free throw line to go with 13 boards. Florida State led this game at one point by 41. It was a boat race. If you laid it, you were comfortable. You felt good. Rocking chair game, T. Lizzie.
In the second half, yeah. It was a little bit interesting towards halftime if you were playing it against that 19.5 or 20 number. I did not, but we had a lot of open looks, didn't hit them. They were hitting shots from Leonard Hamilton's feet on the bench and every which way.
You were getting nervous, and then the second half started, and the Noles went on a 24-5 run, and you went, all right, Where's the rocking chair?
Yeah, they had 14 or 15 turnovers to pen in the first half of this game. Craziness.
Yeah, it was a game in which the defense on the whole forced 26 turnovers. So it was a good day at the office. Great way to start the year. It's not worthy of a choo-choo, guys, in the sense that obviously Florida State was a huge favorite and they won the game. But if you want to choo-choo because it's the start of basketball season and you're excited about the team, well, I can get down with that. Choo-choo! There you go. Our first of the year.
First one on these airwaves, I do believe.
I believe it is true. And, we were 3 of 11 from beyond the arc in the first half, 14 of 23 from inside the arc in the first half. Anytime we went down low, we got what we wanted, bigger, stronger, all that good stuff, longer. And, Penn, as you noted, shot the ball well early in this game. So there was that moment. They were 12 of 25, then 5 of 13 from beyond the arc in that first half. And then it was a time to shut it down, and we did. And that was in large part because Florida State not only created turnovers, but got a lot of steals. They weren't just turnovers. They were steals and transition baskets and the like.
What's fun about this group, and I'm not saying that, previous seasons teams didn't have spunk to them or pizzazz or a chip on their shoulder, but the veteran core for this particular team is either unproven or getting their first crack at real minutes, like not just role player minutes, outside of maybe Anthony Polite, right? For Raekwon Evans, this is a big year for Raekwon Evans. It's a chance for him to right the wrongs of last season. Maybe COVID was just a really tough situation for him. You've seen that with a lot of programs, let alone just players. A lot of the Blue Blood programs last year really, really struggled. I heard that Duke lived in a hotel all last year, completely isolated from everything. Isn't that weird?
I like hotel life. If I were...
You would like it for the entirety of November through March?
Maybe. I'll say this. If I were an eccentric multimillionaire and I had FU money, I would frequently spend long stretches of time in a hotel.
That is a new quirk that I never knew.
I like hotels. I'm not responsible for anything.
Well, you could just hire somebody for cheaper to take care of everything every day at your own home.
Yeah, no, I like it to be theirs in case anything screws up. It's all right.
The richer you get, the more you want to lease things.
Yeah, just there you go. It doesn't mean anything to me. I don't want to own this. I'm not worried about the future. I got more money than I'll ever spend.
Well, the Duke basketball program did not believe what you believed about hotel life clearly last year.
Think about it. When you stay at a nice hotel, like I'm talking about, you have the money to stay in a nice hotel, not some sorry ass. Well, I don't want to insult any hotel group in case they want to advertise, but nice hotel.
Yeah, I'll give you an example. I stayed at the Old Ship in Brighton. It was a hotel that was constructed in the 17th century.
Wow.
Yeah, Charles Dickens would read his books and his stories and whatever he had.
There?
Yes. To the dukes and duchesses. They would congregate at the water. They think it's a beach over there. They're nuts. It's just a pile of rocks with water.
It's cold as hell.
Right, but that's what they consider a beach. So they would retire there for the summer, and in what they would bring dignitary after dignitary.
Yeah.
And Charles Dickens was one of those who would come over. But that place, the spread in the morning for their breakfast.
Oh, forget about it,
dude.
I don't like big breakfasts though, but I understand what you're saying. I don't. I'm very particular
about your breakfasts.
I'm not big on the big breakfasts.
It's funny. I don't like to cook a huge breakfast while I'm at home, right? But when I go on a vacation, and they've got because you just want to set the tone for the day, because you're going to be doing things. If you're at a hotel, you're going out and about, so you got to start the day with an extra big meal because lunch is really not a thing when you're on vacation. At least I don't think so.
No, I think a big lunch, a happy lunch with some drinks and everybody's having a good day. Yeah, there we go. We kind of kickstart on into the rest of the day.
Well, it could be a brunch. We meet in the middle. Because if you're on holiday, you're going to be waking up a little later in the morning before your big breakfasts.
I know. It makes me laugh. All right. So here we go. I would just say that this is the kind of fun where I could go for an hour on the little Piccadillys about hotels and breakfasts, as I like to say, breakfasts.
That's got to be a promo.
Yeah. Well, Duke had to stay in a hotel. That was the point you were making.
Yeah,
I got sidetracked thinking about my love of staying.
So, the original point. Yeah, you can turn into Jack Nicholson, right?
Yeah.
But the original point is that Raekwon Evans did not look like the same player last season, so he's got a lot to prove. Malik Osborne finally is going to get the minutes he has so craved. there were whispers and hints and nothing ever verified that maybe he was looking at another situation last season because he couldn't get the rotation minutes he was looking for, and he knew he was capable of providing a real punch. Anthony Polite getting some big-time minutes, and then the transfers. Cameron Fletcher has been waiting to prove himself, had a bad experience at Kentucky. Don't know what Caleb Mills' situation was at Houston, but it was enough for him to leave, even though he was
they were on a great team, and he was the freshman of the year.
Preseason pick player of the year in the conference before he transferred out. So all of these guys have something to prove. I love that, especially when this is a team and a program marked by effort and attention to detail on defense. Those things go hand in hand.
No, the culture here, along with the level of skill and the style of play, all marry into a very enjoyable experience. If you're making your way over to the TLCCC this year, and maybe you're new to the show, and you don't know how much we enjoy the game and talk about basketball, that experience has become a bona fide home court advantage for Florida State, and it's something that I think Tallahassee should hold on high and very, very proud. And by the way, kudos yet again, and I've now said this for several years in a row and never thought I would, kudos again to the students. They're there early, they're loud, they care, they're into the game, they're understanding the game, they know when to make noise. Good stuff, man.
It wasn't just that either. You had people sitting in the seats on the sidelines.
I know. People were pumped about the game last night.
The geriatrics, I guess, sold their tickets. I don't know what they did. It was a 9 p.m. tip, but that place was crowded, legitimately crowded. Now, we've seen the building like that for home openers, but typically it's like Florida or some big-name team that we bring in. Penn, the UNFs of the world, typically it was a little sleepy. I think people have been waiting because if you're a student coming to Florida State, this is the program you're coming to see, period.
Yeah, that or the soccer program or the softball program.
No disrespect to them. I'm just saying students aren't lining up for that particular
Of course
product.
not. Yeah,
I'm
just saying if you like winners. That's
right.
That's what you're doing. Yeah. All right, here they go. Wagers brought to you by Metro Deli. We love the Metro Deli. Go, speaking of breakfasts, you can get you one in the morning, and they're tasty. They're a good breakfast.
They get their bagels in from New York. Just saying.
Jeez. Here we go. Texas A&M -2.5 against Ole Miss. Give me Jimbo Fisher to go on the road and win the game at the Grove. I was trying to say two words at the same time. Somehow worked an L in there as well. Air Force -2.5 against Colorado State. Sorry, Adazio. I love you, buddy. Get mad. I see it. That's fair. We'll sit down. We'll have some wine and pastries. We'll talk it out. It's okay. Houston -14 over Temple in the first half. That's the 1H you see there if you're looking at the Redemption Thursday wagering menu.
I can feel it all the way down in my plums.
The thing about the Keenan clip there is the double eye blink. He sells it so well. He does the double eye blink. Look at that. Watch. There.
Now, he is a comedian that I grew up with. He was a comedian on a variety show on Nickelodeon.
Yes, he was.
Nick at Night. Well, that was actually for old people. The Saturday, whatever it was, all that is what the show was called.
He's great.
Yeah.
There's an innocence and an earnestness to him that I really enjoy. Like it's not a cynical humor, even though I'm okay with that too.
Right.
He presents a lot of joy. Man.
Yeah, I referenced another skit. It was when Dave Chappelle was hosting. You can look it up, but when he goes, "Now, damn it, woman!" He gets mad at one of the characters who's getting pushed out. Yeah. It's a tense but hilarious sketch.
It's so good. All right, I take Houston to roll big over Temple, who's quit. Auburn and Mississippi State. I'm going to take the under 51 there. NC State getting a point. I think they should be favored outright. I like them to go win on the road against a beat-up defense in Wake Forest. Nevada is getting 3 against San Diego State. Wrong team might be favored there. BC and Georgia Tech, I'm going to go with the over in that game. Neither really want to play defense all that well, and BC got their quarterback back. Let's go over 54 there. I'm going to take my Sooners to win by more than 5.5 over Baylor. Stumbling. Baylor is a little bit. Give me Oklahoma minus the 5.5 there. 2-team teaser pleaser, 6-point teaser pleaser. Give me the Ravens and go ahead and cook it down to minus a 1.5 instead of the big number. Let's just cook it down to minus a 1.5.
A little slow cook.
Yeah, that's a slow cook.
Old Papa John knows what slow cooking feels like.
He's up to 800 pizzas or some nonsense, he said.
In 10 months.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Browns plus 8.5. I think they play good defense. I like that they're getting points to begin with against New England. I think the weather will be, what it is, dicey. 8.5. Seems like enough. So I cooked that one up. I turned the temperature up on that one, Tom. I took those 8.5 points right there. And then finally tonight, let's get out ahead of this thing. Let's make us a little money tonight so that we can enjoy Friday and Saturday on the house. NBA, Clippers, Heat. We're taking the under total of 211.5. That hook means something to me.
We don't have the old 4-letter stuff anymore.
It's in my house all the time now. The NBA music, any of the NBA music.
They're all good. Every channel has had good NBA music.
They have. And they do a good job. And my son, every morning when he wakes up for school, we're watching NBA TV to catch the highlights from the night before. And he cracks up.
Did you see the tributes? Because Inside the NBA is the television program.
By the way, his favorite
TNT.
player is Terrence Mann times 1,000. And he has become a Clippers fan because of Terrence Mann.
Well, that's a great team to root for.
He roots for Terrence Mann.
No
and the
history
Clippers.
of success, so that anytime they achieve it, he would feel something.
Oh, he watches it all the time. And we had a long conversation, and we cracked up laughing about the Jokic situation that didn't involve the Clippers. That was the Heat. But we were laughing because he's astute enough to notice that the fake tough guys on the Heat wanted no part of Jokic after he shoved your boy Morris to the ground. Like, they all walked like they were going to step, and then he stood still and just looked at them.
I'm also proud of Bryce for a lot of reasons, but the uniform choice too. Those are great uniforms.
Oh yeah,
the
with
Clippers
old
fixed it about 5-6 years ago.
Yeah.
Looks
So
great now.
they do the Grand Theft Auto one. I like as well.
Oh yeah,
the writing,
the San Andreas style,
the best.
Yes,
I love
those
that.
are cool.
Great uniform.
Did you see the touching tributes to Ernie Johnson's late son that came out last week?
I did not, and I think I would have a hard time watching that.
They are wonderful. If you need to pick me up, it'll be sad too. But if you need to pick me up and something hopeful, I can't recommend it enough.
Oh damn it, Ernie makes me cry on the regular.
Yeah,
that guy's awesome. He's like the most earnest night. Speaking of earnest,
he gave I think it was new Turner employees. Maybe it's Turner Sports. Maybe it's Turner in general. But they brought him up to talk about his son and the adoption process and what it means to him. And man, if you didn't want to run through a wall after weeping, hearing him talk about that experience from a personal standpoint and what it means to live in the world, be a citizen and things like that. Again, listen, maybe it's after Miami beats us or something on Saturday.
No, maybe it's after we win and you're so overjoyed with the victory.
The next time you feel down, this will pick you back up with a little bit of sadness on the side.
Well, remember when Ernie had cancer and when he was battling cancer, and I mean, Shaq and Charles, and Kenny and all those guys, they could barely talk because they loved him so much. So they got like 2 words into like saluting him, and they're like, "Oh, I can't do it." That's how beloved he is.
The dude's the truth from what everything you could tell, but then he's also an incredible broadcaster because he
keeps that thing together.
He keeps it together while also standing back and letting them go. That's an unbelievable talent.
Yeah, well, I think while we're in the process of grading out people who drive shows, I think he's maybe the very, very best in the last 25 years, 30 years. Greg Amsinger of the MLB Network, beast. To be that young and that talented and that good, that guy is.
He's huge too.
Yeah, and he's as good, and he's a walking encyclopedia.
Yep.
Your 4-starter out in Milwaukee, he's got it top of his head right now.
Of anybody who does the job, he's got the encyclopedic recall of any of them. Better. He's got it over anybody. But I would put him and Ernie. I mean, geez. The way Ernie conducts it, most people would be perceived as too weak to step in, but he has the clout somehow. It still hovers over everything they do. But then Rich Eisen on Sunday for their pregame show. And
Rich does a good job, yeah.
Rich is an excellent presider over the thing.
So Swiss Irish brought something up that I think is funny, and it's true. You've seen the footage, by the way, hearkening back to the Jokic situation. And yes, he is from a part of the world that's been in civil war since Charlie Ward was here. Not afraid, right?
Yep.
A mutual friend of ours texted me, I have no idea about these young Jokic brothers, but I've seen the video. You've seen them that was rather intimidating.
Sure.
That was a little unsettling. Yes. He goes on to say that when he was in school in California during the late 90s, where he was, there were a ton of Serbians in the area, right? He was talking about in the area. Those guys have seen some things, Jeff. And even the smartest and best educated of them definitely had a little Kaiser Sose to them.
Oh, yeah.
And it reminded me of you and I in
Oh,
Malibu.
Malibu. Yep. Mm-hmm.
And we were like, oh, well, okay, we should probably leave.
It was at a Central Casting, what these guys look like.
It was unreal. Russian oligarchy. It was insane.
These
were
pushers. These guys were the high-level guys. They
really rich.
Probably muscle, but they've been muscle for long enough that they'd earn their bona fides. But the ladies that were with them were former model-looking types who were about 70 pounds apiece.
The whole
they
thing
were
was
total
insane.
addicts who were hooked on
chain smoking.
Yep. Oh my God.
And driving Ferraris.
You could see their
It was
skeleton.
just-
I'm like, this is out of a bad TV show.
I just laughed. I was like, this is unreal. And I am not going to associate and or say anything in the fear of rubbing them the wrong way.
Oh, we stayed
a good distance.
Listen, before there was social distancing, that's what we adhered to with those guys.
I've been to that restaurant twice now out in California. It's the Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV. Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
This is an insurance market alert from Barbara at Faircloth Insurance in Tallahassee. A few months ago, I asked you to contact your legislators to help stop the skyrocketing property insurance rates in Florida. Other states average 2 lawsuits per day on property insurance claims. Florida has 384 per day. The property owners of Florida are being taken advantage of, but it is not by the insurance companies. The companies are paying out 10 times the cost of a claim or more that would have been paid anyway. People are canvassing neighborhoods, knocking on doors, suggesting that the property owner may have some damage. The property owner innocently signs something that turns all control of any claim settlement to an attorney that becomes the person designated to get the claim check and who controls the disbursement of the claim payment. If we want these rates to go down, we must reach out to our legislators and let them know how unaffordable home insurance has become and that we want them to support reform that will fix the issues. This has been an insurance market alert from Barbara at Faircloth Insurance in Tallahassee.
Let me tell you what T-Spark stands for. It stands for strength, commitment, teamwork, and heart. We don't ever quit until we've got nothing left to give. Our team is unstoppable. Want a guaranteed win? Call T-Spark Enterprises for your next roofing or construction project. We conquer all peaks. TSparkConstruction.com. License number CCC 1331204.
If you know me, you know how I feel about supporting local. You also know that I love dad jokes. So it really bugs me when somebody I know calls anyone other than Paul's Termite and Pest Control. This year marks 50 years that Paul's has been servicing our community as a family-owned business. That really means something. All treatment decisions are made right here, not some corporate headquarters 100 miles away, but right here. Local knowledge means they know exactly when and how to beat certain issues that are unique to our region. All decisions about North Florida made by North Floridians, and being local doesn't always mean small. Paul's is the largest locally owned termite, pest, and lawn company in the region, but you'll always get the small town treatment and quick service also. Paul's offers a same-day treatment guarantee if you call by noon. If you see something in the morning that's not supposed to be in your house, call Paul's and they'll get them all that same afternoon. It's that easy. For the elimination of termites or any other pests, and for a greener lawn too, visit callpauls.com.
I call Swain Pools and Spas. Now I'm soaking up the fun when I want to.
I call Tallahassee Car Care and they're fixing my car when I want to.
Hey, what are you doing? This is a Swain Pools and Spas commercial.
I'm turning it into a Tallahassee Car Care commercial.
But Swain Pools and Spas is a full-service shop offering sales, renovation, supplies, and more for years.
And Tallahassee Car Care is a full-service shop offering brake and tire service, batteries, oil changes, and more for years.
But people go to Swain Pools for quality and reliability. Nobody knows more about pools and spas, and Swain has new Caldera spas in stock right now.
And people go to Tallahassee Car Care for their 5-star service at great prices, with most maintenance done by their certified technicians while you wait.
You know what? Just look for the big Swain sign on West Tharp Street, because Swain Pools and Tallahassee Car Care are under the same roof. Online at SwainPools.com.
Online at TallahasseeCarCare.com.
Swain Pools and Spas.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
The Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness. 2 Tallahassee locations, Midtown on Thomasville Road and Northside in the Village Common Shopping Center. Online at orangetheoryfitness.com.
To 9 a.m. right here, 93.3 Real Talk Radio and Warchant TV. Like and subscribe. We will be hosting Tallahassee Game Day. It's there on your screen Saturday, again, 9 a.m., brought to you by our friends at Zaxby's. Do want to note that this will be powered in large part by a really, really strong, fast, reliable internet from our friends at Xfinity. Fastest, best, most reliable. Got it in my house. 2 kids on devices. Wife watching a show, me watching sports, forget about it. Maybe I'm on my iPad, checking out something on Netflix. All works beautifully.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I discovered something here. If you've got a gaming device of any kind, I'm not sure if it's the same for PlayStation, but you know me, I've got an Xbox, I also have a PS5, but on the ESPN app...
You got to let me buy that PS5 from you. It just sits there collecting dust.
It does not. I play some games on there, and I do so with exceptional internet. You wouldn't believe
reliable,
it.
Very fast.
Not even plugged in. The Wi-Fi is fast enough that I don't lag ever. But the ESPN app now has a multicast, which you just hit the X button or the square for you PS5 users, and you can have a quad screen. And for you with an 85-inch television, your TV can handle that very nicely.
Yes, it can.
You can put 4 games, whatever is on the ESPN app.
Quad screen.
4 and pictures back, baby. But you need good internet to make sure that thing doesn't buffer.
Clear as a bell. It's like your own Vegas wall.
Enter our pals from Xfinity. That's where they handle it. I don't see buffering on any 4 corners of my television. And if there's craziness going on in college football, I've got those 4 on one screen plus TV 2. That's 5 games at once, all off the internet and all crystal clear.
Go to Xfinity.com or call 1-800-XFINITY or visit a store today. There you go. There you go.
Bang.
So the aspect of the game that we'll be talking about on Tallahassee Game Day, I think the one that perhaps provides the most amount of optimism for us as Noles is twofold. The defensive line against Miami's offensive line and getting pressure on Van Dyke. He is awfully young. This is a rivalry game. This will be the most intense game. He's played in close games, but this will be the most intense game that he will have played in. The players ratchet up the intensity and focus in games like this. We do have a good front 4. I wouldn't call it elite, but I would call it good. And I think if you can limit Miami's ability in the run game, where they have certainly seen Knighton come on, I think you can make them fairly one-dimensional and get after the passer. You hit him a few times, and maybe you see a kid who gets not panicked, but happy feet, and he'll roll himself into some sacks. So you give yourself a chance to create turnovers that way. This needs to be a game where the secondary steps up because the kid takes chances. So you might have a chance to jump one. Of course, you're likely to give up a big play because that's who we are. But we figure this is a high-scoring game. I'd play right on the edge. I'd play very footloose and fancy-free. I think it's that kind of game.
Yeah, to me, I think this game plan, I called for this for the Clemson game. They kind of did it, kind of did not on defense. But when you're talking about the quarterback, play it the same way he played North Carolina. And if he beats you with his legs, because he can move. When he gets going and breaks the pocket, if you don't have him accounted for, Van Dyke can run for 10 to 12 yards in a pretty quick clip. But if that's what he gives you, instead of a 60-yard shot down the field with that rifle for an arm that he's got, fine. Play it like you played North Carolina and Sam Howell. Now, the thing about the running game and Jalen Knighton with his elite burst, that is unbelievable, that particular skill in his game. He's not well-rounded yet. He's a bit of a raw commodity. But this is what Mike Norvell was talking about on Monday when he said that that's a guy you circle. And then yesterday when he was talking about the defense this week, that they had some issues with their game plans in terms of the fits. If you guess wrong and he gets beyond the line of scrimmage, he's gone. So the critical element here is if you're supposed to be in a gap, there is no effing freelancing, or else that guy is gone. You can't choose to do what you want to do. You have to do what you have to do. Correct.
Mind the gap, everybody. Goodness gracious. It's should be the heart of the focus here. We've done a good job with that on the whole. In the run game, I think we have. Yeah, I think we have. Now do we have misses here and there? Yeah, we're not a perfect defense or an elite defense, but the front four has done a very good job. Now, you're talking about linebackers.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, linebackers have issues. Our linebackers in particular have issues. Luckily, so do theirs. Not a good group at linebacker for Miami. Not a great group in the secondary for Miami. Not a good group at linebacker for Florida State. Not a great group in the secondary. Leaning towards the over.
Right. But we're better in a couple of those categories than Miami is on defense, I think. I mean, the front's already better. I think
we also tackle a lot better than they do.
We do. I like our secondary better than I like their secondary. The problem is that we don't have a drop-back passing game, so dang, that would really help in this particular situation.
They break it out on Saturday.
The thing that worries me about our linebackers is Miami does a lot of things formationally like we do, which is they'll load the backfield out of the gun. And they'll move Will Mallory around or somebody else, and they'll get the linebacker's eyes in different places, and he'll get the guys freelancing. That's the whole point of Rhett Lashley's offense when it comes to the ground game, is to get you looking in the wrong place. We don't usually need very much help to look in the wrong place, but they will help you along and create those window dressings so Knighton can hit you. I've seen speed option being run out of that particular offense with this quarterback, with Van Dyke. So just when you think you have a tendency, they break the tendency. That's where I get worried about creating creases for Jalen Knighton, because he won't wait. He's the opposite of Le'Veon Bell. You know how Le'Veon Bell runs? Patient as can be.
Slow.
This guy, he'll go at 100 miles an hour. Now, the good news is, if we can get through him with our front four, then he's going to run right into the chest of one of our guys.
ISF is an IT and strategy firm. They sponsor Solving the Future, which we'll do next on the Jeff Cameron Show, and I've got a good idea of how to solve it. Here we go. We'll do it coming up. Should I say 93.3 Warchant TV?
Yeah, both.
Feels like I've said it 50 times today. I don't know why. Sometimes it feels in excess. I like people to know what they're listening to. It's the old school radio in me.
It's the JCS. That's what the hell it is.
That's right. That's right.
Your local news now.
An independent investigation of former Taylor County School Superintendent Danny Glover finds reasonable cause that he repeatedly violated the school board's harassment policy in his conduct with a coworker. The 42-page report from Jacksonville attorney John F. Dickinson concludes Glover engaged in requests for sexual favors and other conduct of a sexual nature, created an intimidating, hostile, or offensive work environment, and threatened the coworker's job if she rejected him. Currently, Paul Dial is filling in as interim superintendent until the governor can find a replacement. The Leon County Sheriff's Office paid tribute to local veterans and transitional housing Wednesday afternoon. First stopping by Tallahassee Veterans Village, deputies then passed by the home front apartments about a half-mile away. Assistant Sheriff Steve Harrelson, a U.S. Army veteran himself, said it was about honoring those who have served. The Sheriff's Office handed out challenge coins, an item that's often used in the military and law enforcement as a token of appreciation. This is Rachel Lene with your Real Talk 93.3 local news update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at macklemoresystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Chance for scattered showers this afternoon, otherwise mainly cloudy. High temperatures reach up to 77, winds out of the south, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Partly cloudy skies tonight, slight chance for isolated rain showers, lows level off around 61. Slight chance for isolated rain showers again tomorrow. Highs level off around 76, mainly sunny skies and calm. This report is brought to you by The Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, 74.
This is Kyle, service manager from Barano Heating and Air. Schedule an appointment from your mobile device to learn about our Total Comfort Service Program. With guaranteed same-day service, 15% off necessary repairs, and $25 berry books to use towards air filters and other products. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Barano Heating and Air. Any day, anytime, anywhere. Online at baranoac.com.
Florida license CAC 1816-186.
If you weren't the owner of Gordo's and all those wonderful restaurants, Eddie, what would you be doing?
You know, I think I'd want to be I don't know what I'd want to be. A boat captain or a cowboy.
You know how to use a lasso?
No.
You'd have to do that if you were a cowboy.
Yeah, but I've never even been on a horse. It's not my place to be on a horse.
I agree. And the horse thanks you. Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
Here's what you missed on the Greg Tish Show.
Charlie Chris, he's running for governor. To mention the governor, I'm tired of it. I'm sick of it. And we see it in presidential. We see it all the time. It's the new norm. We even saw it in local. That it should be. It's like, hey, I'm running for this local seat.
Do you understand? I heard a statistic that like half of our population reads at like an 8th grade level.
And what is the other 2/3 rate at?
That means almost half does not. You're right.
The Greg Tish Show, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m., only on Real Talk 93.3. The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
Country, the Ritz-Carlton in Naples. That is what you do. Side note, the movie Two for the Money, is that your dream life movie? I assume your degenerate gambling ways has led you to watch that movie. Oh, I've seen that movie multiple times. It's so bad, it's good.
Brandon Lang.
It's so bad, it's good. I can't help but love that movie. There's so many moments that you're like, that is ridiculous, but I love it.
We had the real guy on one year. You did.
I had him on. Yeah, I did. I interviewed Brandon Lang. Yeah,
he took the whole season. I don't know what happened with Paramount that year, but yeah.
That was weird. He did, didn't he?
We went right back to Lee after. I don't know what the problem was.
He was a weird dude.
Yeah.
I mean,
a lot of these guys are.
Yeah.
Lee's about as adjusted as you're going to find in the sharp industry.
Spoke with Lee today, and I'll be speaking with him again tomorrow. He is very well adjusted. Family man, does well, it's a family-oriented business. They've been together. His dad did it before him. It's amazing. Passed on down.
One guy who does a hit with your brethren over there at SiriusXM. It's Friday afternoons after the show's over. Driving to the CP, I'll listen to the segment. The guy is from a radio channel that's dedicated to sports betting, not on Sirius, but on a different channel. I guess it's a website. He sounds just like Paul Heyman from the WWE. It's crazy.
Does he have the same inflection and everything else?
He doesn't go after it like,
yeah, like Paul does.
Surprise special,
right,
you know.
Right.
Like,
He doesn't do that.
He sounds exactly like Paul Heyman.
So yes, I've seen Christopher Two for the Money, and I've actually stayed at the Ritz-Carlton in Naples, and yes, it is awfully nice. You're right. That's a good place to be. I don't know if it's the best hotel in the world, but
yeah, that's a toughie.
Yeah, Waldorf Astoria or something like that.
Right.
I mean, there might be
downtown Manhattan.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's some nice places.
Yeah, some really nice places. But yeah, no, I will say though, if you're in Naples and you're golfing,
a hotel in Vegas. I mean, like a
well,
lot of the casinos. What are we doing?
Yeah, but I would tell you, the last time I was out in Vegas, those places aren't necessarily nice as much as they are near opportunity. They are.
Oh, there's a couple that are.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah, no.
Go to the Wynn. Yeah, you're gonna have a beautiful experience.
No, I'm saying they're good places, but the room itself is not like, oh, this is heaven. I'm in the lap of luxury.
Right. Yeah.
You know, like I was at the Cosmopolitan last time. It's one of the newest ones there is. I'm like, But the best part about it is not only are you overlooking,
it's the hospitality.
Yeah, you're overlooking the strip, but then at the same time, you're like, you know what's cool is I'm gonna go downstairs and gamble.
Yeah.
That's like kind of what gets you excited about it.
What I'm hoping for, you know how every few years we have, it might be every 4 years, probably makes sense, a double bye week in the college football schedule. I think it was 2 years ago, we had one in November. It was a November bye week, which I really liked. But the golf league that I'm in has a world championship in Vegas every year.
Yeah, no, they were just out there.
Upwards of 3 or 4 rounds of golf if you want to, but then there's an NFL Sunday event where you just hang out there.
Ooh,
there's no golf.
I can get loose. You can't be flying out on a Monday.
Some do.
Yeah, I'm pushing,
some choose not to.
I'm pushing to a Tuesday,
Yeah,
I think,
probably.
on that note. Or late Monday, very late Monday.
Well, maybe we could work a way into doing a couple of shows from there.
Equipment's an amazing thing. We can absolutely
Equipment is an amazing
thing. ISF, helping you solve for the future, helping us solve for the future. They've come on board here to the Jeff Cameron Show, and we're happy to partner with them. Their clients certainly rely on them to advise, protect, advance their business and technological objectives, right? That's what they do. ISF understands the way state government works across the full spectrum of business processes, workflows, strategies, all that good stuff. Hey, look, you and your staff work hard. Your constituents depend on you, and you have brilliant ideas, and you want to improve the process and streamline workflows and all of that. you run into problems, ISF will help you solve those problems. For us, I actually think the easiest way to view this solving the future or solving problems is trust. And what I mean by that is this secondary has guys that we routinely criticize, but since they pared down the group that rotates, I've seen better play there. If they could stop with the busts or the one or two big plays a game they give up, we would be talking about them. And I know woulda, coulda, shoulda, ifs, ands, or buts, all that stuff. The king or queen or queen or king, all that, you know. But they're in position, Tom. We can't deny that. How many times are they in position a game? They should have made many more plays this year on the football. Some have, and we've begun to see signs that they'll fight. That North Carolina game was the first indicator. Oh, you're where you're supposed to be. You got your head around. You made a play on the ball. Aside from the awful interference call on Kevin Noles against Clemson, you had these moments where they could have made a couple of big plays. There were balls to intercept in this. You're going to get that opportunity in this game. Close, man. What do you have to lose? Play with reckless abandon. You're an underdog at home. You're a 3-win team in a rebuild. Play loose. Have fun. Be aggressive. Be assertive and trust one another.
Yeah, if you make the play on 3rd and 7 against the screen pass, maybe a couple other big plays down the one shot down the sideline on the rail route where Kevin Noles is in trail. You make both of those plays, I don't think you get too mad about the bust over the top because teams are allowed to scheme things open based upon what you do.
And if they have good players, it's going to happen.
But when you add all three together, that's what leaves the sour taste in your mouth. But you're right. This is a weekend where it's a tough test. It's a tough time to ask for that to come to fruition just because of the explosiveness that is the Miami offense for the past month. This is a quarterback who's really found his stride. And what's interesting to me is it seems like there's a relationship now between Rhett Lashley and Tyler Van Dyke where they trust each other. What do I mean by that? Well, the game plan against Pitt, who likes to press, play man, was to screen them to death. Bubble screens to the outside.
Yeah.
If you look at Tyler Van Dyke's average yards, depth of target, it's a metric that PFF puts together. It's the same thing as air yards per attempt if you go to profootballreference.com and look at the pros. If you look at those numbers, before the Pitt game, Van Dyke's average target down the field was 11 yards or more in every game. Against Pitt, it was only 7. So that was Lashley saying, listen, I understand what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
This is a talented defense that's going to press up. So we're going to challenge our guys to block on the perimeter. They've got to honor it because your arm is strong enough to throw to the far side. It's a rifle, so they can't cheat to the middle of the field. We're going to spread them out wide, and that's how we're going to set up the things that we want to do later. Then they come back, play Georgia Tech, and he's throwing the ball down the field again. That tells me, and that's what they're going to do this weekend.
That's exactly what they're going to do this weekend.
What they see from us on film. We get downhill and tackle in space, so you're going to take your shots down the field. But that they return to that tells me that Lashley knows there are goalposts here that I can operate with. And that's where explosive plays are going to come this weekend. It's just a matter of limiting those.
And my point would be, and at the start of this segment, as brought to you by ISF, Solve the Future, you listen, they've done a very good job this year of letting the previous series and or play, if it's a big play, go. They've done a good job. So they've trusted in the coaching staff and, in that sense, each other to go back out, make the adjustment, and go play downhill and play good, hard-nosed football. What they haven't always done is trusted themselves in the moment. And that's when I'm talking about trust. They're going to be you're talking about one-on-one situations in which you're in position to make a play, and so is the receiver. This year, far too often, and Miami has playmakers at receiver, far too often that play has been made by the receiver, almost invariably every time. Almost, not every time, but most of the time. But it's not for having been in poor technique, poor leverage. It's not from having been in a situation where you thought, listen, when they get beat on a bust, they get beat on a bust. I'm not worried about that. I'm talking about the one-on-one, the hand fighting. You're in the hip pocket. You're in phase. You've turned. You've done everything right. Now make the play. It drives me nuts. They don't make that play, but they're capable. I really believe there are a couple of guys, not all. There's some guys I'd rather not see out there. Not going to pinpoint them right now, but there are 3 or 4 guys that I trust can eventually either develop enough to make those plays, or perhaps this is the game where that happens.
Yeah, the struggle here is even if you win the line of scrimmage in terms of stopping the run, and they've got to go one-dimensional with Van Dyke's arm, you still have to honor the whole field. because they can create the running game on the perimeter with the screens. When you've got a rocket of an arm, you can't cheat. You can't cheat towards, let's say that you're lined up all the way on the right hash.
The entire field. That's what Jameis did to people. That's
Correct.
what all good quarterbacks do to people.
It just puts so much damn pressure on the defense, and that's where you can mitigate if Miami wanted to. Take the front four out of the game, go quick game on the perimeter, and say, that's fine that you could beat us. We're going to get the ball out of Van Dyke's hands early.
I'll live with that. We're physical. We'll come up and tackle.
The thing is, it creates those seams, and that's where I get worried, where I don't know that it's possible without some turnover luck or some red zone defense that's really stout.
We're pretty good in the red zone.
To prevent Miami from getting into the upper 20s or lower 30s.
Well, I don't think we're going to prevent them from getting in the 20s. So, I mean, I think you got to go out there with the idea that to win this game, what did I say? We got to get into the 30s. So,
correct. Yeah.
I mean, that's why I say take your chances. You're not going to take away everything. You're not good enough to take away everything. So play the game with an understanding that points are going to be scored here, but take some chances.
But I think
create big plays.
That's an important point for Monday to stress, because they're going to make plays. That's not because of a bad scheme by Adam Fuller that Miami makes plays. They've got some dudes. They've got some dudes on the team. So when you're assessing Miami's success level, you're starting higher. Not starting at 250 total yards. You're starting at 350, maybe 375.
It's a little bit like, and fans always think their team shouldn't give up anything, and they get really, really frustrated when their team does give up something. Well, Brent Venables is one of the best coaches in all of college football, has been an elite defensive coordinator. Ohio State lit his ass up like a Christmas tree. Not only did they devise a plan, they have really good players, elite wide receivers. They make plays. Quarterback who got drafted in the first round. It can happen. Miami's not that. But the point is they do have some dudes, as you're saying. So
right.
I think you have to take some risks here. For over 40 years, ISF has focused on solving the future for state government through strategy, process, and technology. As a national management and IT consulting firm, ISF has the expertise to transform strategies, if I could speak, refine processes, and implement solutions to lead you into today's changing environment. ISF, check them out, isf.com. Jeff Cameron Show 93.3, Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV. Warchant TV. Our partners at ISF know you want to do amazing things. You have big ideas and goals for the future. For over 40 years, ISF has focused on solving the future for state government through strategy, process, and technology. As a national management and IT consulting firm, ISF has the expertise to transform strategies, refine processes, and implement solutions to lead you in today's changing environment. ISF, your vision plus our expertise brings your brilliant ideas to life. Visit isf.com to learn more. ISF, solving the future.
This holiday season, it's more important than ever to show some love to our local businesses when tackling your shopping lists. Real Talk 93.3 and the Office of Economic Vitality want to encourage everyone to think local first before you click that Shop Now button from the Big Box website.
Instead, consider checking out some of our very own local businesses like Lowly and the Bean, packed with unique gifts like home decor, jewelry, women's apparel, and customized gifts for any occasion.
Early's Kitchen, featuring fresh, made-from-scratch, honest, good food, served family style and packed full of comfort.
Red Eye Coffee, with locally roasted coffee, high-quality teas, hand-blended cocoa, and house-made artisanal chocolates and pastries.
And Trip Drop Fitness, an exciting place for women in Tallahassee to have fun with a rewarding physical workout and feel confident in high-intensity cardio and group fitness classes.
'Tis the season to love your local. Find a full list of participating local businesses to love at oevforbusiness.org.
That's oevforbusiness.org.
Hi, I'm Jeff, founder of Which Superior Sandwiches, and I'm here to tell you about our signature witch, the Wicked. Why call it the Wicked? Some say it's wicked tasty, some say it's wicked large. One thing's for sure, with oven-roasted turkey, ham, pepperoni, roast beef, and bacon, as well as your choice of 3 cheeses, it definitely takes you from wicked hungry to wicked happy in just a few wicked good bites. Only at Which Superior Sandwiches.
On Wednesday, the Wicked is just $5. 5 meats, 3 cheeses, $5.
What's important when shopping at a gun store? Let's start with a friendly and knowledgeable staff. Then add top-notch service, great selection and pricing, and a personal shopping experience only found at a locally owned and operated business. At Red Hills Arms, they're right on target. While other gun stores come and go, Red Hills Arms remains Tallahassee's go-to local gun store for all your firearms needs. Stop by today and get welcomed in like family.
Live and live in color and totally free. Subscribe to Warchant TV on YouTube, the digital home of Warchant.com. From the practice field to pregame and the phone calls afterwards, Warchant's YouTube channel is home to live programming like Seminole Headlines, Wake Up Warchant, The Jeff Cameron Show, as well as Trench Talk, a live Q&A with Noles offensive lineman Devontae Love-Taylor. Just search Warchant on YouTube and click or tap the subscribe button. That's it. It's totally free. Warchant TV on YouTube. Just another reason we're the ultimate Seminole sports source.
The Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness. 2 Tallahassee locations, Midtown on Thomasville Road and Northside in the Village Common Shopping Center. Online at orangetheoryfitness.com.
Happy hour show tomorrow at the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Hopefully you can make it by. We'll be out there from 5 to 6 p.m. May linger a little longer. Never know. Beers are cold. The food is good. The atmosphere is good. And it's game weekend, so maybe it happens. Maybe it happens.
If you linger longer, then you can see Crooked Kilts. How about that for back-to-back alliteration there? If you linger longer, you can see Crooked Kilts. That's 8 p.m.
Expect that out of you, buddy.
You can support. That's correct. That's correct. I got that English degree from Florida State for a purpose.
There it is.
You could support Florida State libraries tomorrow night at the Corner Pocket Bar Grill. If you hang around, it's that's with breakfasts and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, good stuff.
But that's correct. You can enjoy some Celtic rock and dance the night away preparing for Florida State in Miami.
A St. Andrew Society fundraiser in support of Florida State University Libraries. Speaking of which, you know who's got a really nice library? Oklahoma. OU. That library is to beat the band. It is it's unbelievable. There are a couple of libraries that I, before I die, I plan on attending and seeing all around the world. It's a thing. Matthew and I agree on this.
Just going to smell the books, smell the leather bound.
No, I mean, there are some libraries. Well, yes, that's an added bonus. But there are some libraries out there and bookstores, for that matter, I guess you could say, that have been around for hundreds of years. And that I'd never cease to amaze me. It's like, I get the goosebumps.
This isn't going to be on a library calendar or anything, but I've got the one across the street from here, right down the road. You've early voted there before.
I have
near where I live
there before, yeah.
I got to get my card. I have not got my card.
Oh, buddy, got my library card. I go there.
It's a good place to go when
Quiet.
You just want to work away from people. That's right. Yeah.
Tell them all to go to hell.
That's correct.
There
is value in that. There's real value in that.
Yes, there is.
Especially during football season.
Especially if you're reading a book that has some what for to it that it requires you to pay attention. You can't get that done at the house. Dogs, cats, kids. Well, in my case, kids. In your case, wife. My case, wife. Doesn't really matter. Hey, listen, people are doing things. They're doing things, but this is a heady concept. You got to read this here.
Or, there's this level of production. It needs this much. Maybe I should just put on the schedule for the week that I have library hours, much like a professor has office hours, except you can't come see me during library hours.
I like it. So if we can say this proudly, because we can, it happened last night. Play it.
Hot damn. Big Daddy's done it again.
That was the precursor to
Red Russians for all, baby.
That was a goal total of 6, I think it was.
And we took the under, and it paid because 3 goals in total were scored. Not 6, not 7, not even 5. 3. There it was. Cola and vodka for all Red Russians to celebrate. North Florida Payroll Services, locally owned for nearly 15 years, offering payroll and HR services, including full online applicant onboarding and integration into payroll. Save your company money and headaches today at northfloridapayroll.com.
Hey, Big Daddy, having some Red Russians tonight?
We'll know in about 47 seconds.
To an open wing. It's picked up by Dowdy, an empty net. He scores.
Hot damn, Big Daddy's done it again. Red Russians all around, Teddy. All right, Big Daddy.
Oh, let it play, Tom. Let's be inspired. They've got veterans, too.
Oh, jeez. Are you kidding me?
Oh, it's fun. Okay, so you're on a heater. I step back, everybody, because we understand as sporting guys or gals, when somebody's feeling it, you do not get in the way of a streak. Where might we be looking tonight, T. Lizzie?
we are looking to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
You are looking right.
We are going to stick into the state of Pennsylvania. State of Pennsylvania for a second straight night because that Maple Leafs Flyers game was in Philly. It's the Florida Panthers that I'm looking hard at. They were undefeated in regulation through 11 games this season.
Now they've lost 3 straight, right?
They've lost to the Rangers in New York. They've lost to the Devils in New Jersey. And those games hit totals of 7 and 10. Now, I think this is a night for the Florida Panthers to be angry, take it to a beleaguered Pittsburgh Penguins bunch.
Oh, I like it.
Florida Panthers.
Schedule hunting.
Minus a goal and a half. Extremely motivated in this final game of their road trip. They come back down. They're playing, they're coming back to the state of Florida on Saturday to play Tampa in what usually is a knockdown dragout. But they're pissed off. I'll take a pissed off Florida Panthers bunch. Minus a goal and a half, which is a plus 200 proposition, sir.
I see why you're doing it. All right.
To beat the Pittsburgh Penguins.
My question to you is, how quickly do they turn around and play Tampa?
Saturday. It's fine.
Okay.
It's right where it needs to be.
That's important.
From what I gather, taking a look at this, they lost 2 straight because they beat Carolina, and that's a really good Carolina team last week. Monday in New York, Tuesday in Jersey. I think they might have taken in a show or 2 downtown in New York. Maybe they enjoy the nightlife of NYC because they know how good they are. What the hell is there to do in Pittsburgh after you've been in New York City? It's winning time. That's what this is about.
I like it, man. I'm not going to get in the way of it. I'd say Florida had some interruption, as did Chicago and the Mighty Ducks. And I mean, what in God's name is going on in the NHL? Every other day, he's resigning. He's been fired. This guy can't stop fondling people. It is unreal what goes on in the NHL lately. This is a weird world. Get it together, National Hockey League.
Yeah, I thought I left the Catholic Church years ago. What
it
the
is
hell is
insane.
This? Yeah.
Over and over and over again, you get this. Once a week, somebody resigns from, and half the time it's like, oh, well, 15 years ago, I did it. What? What is going on here?
Right. So Joel Quenneville was the second best, I think, at this point, coach in the game. He was the best for a long time. Until his comeuppance.
Tragically.
Correct. Yeah, get him the hell out of here.
I know you were heartbroken that it happened.
Oh, well, that's true from a hockey standpoint, but he coached 1 extra game, and that was so stupid that they let him coach another game while this was a pending investigation. And the findings were out before the public.
Yeah, it was
just
really
so
weird.
dumb. But that's a really talented Florida Panthers team. Yeah. Really talented.
I think they've been shook, though. It's a shame. Probably a ruined season.
Their goaltending is good enough.
Yeah. He's young.
Not give up 11 goals to back-to-back opponents combined. 11 goals in back-to-back
Oh,
nights.
no. We'll win the wager, but I'm hoping I'm right about the war. I think they're shook.
They should be.
I hope so. It's a long, long season. We just were looking for angles, looking for opportunities. Tom Lang's on a heater. We're riding it. It's Red Russians for everybody. We're celebrating together. Big Daddy did it again. It's a group effort. Let's go.
It was 2 years ago that there was a charity event. It was a Warchant and Corner Pocket charity event, silent auction. Remember, William Floyd was there for the proceedings.
My man.
Or not a silent auction. It was a casino night. That's what it was.
Casino night, indeed.
And you guest bartender for like 20 minutes.
I
But
did.
within that 20 minutes, you poured a Red Russian
for
your boy.
Mm-hmm. And you drank it.
I had 1 more Red Russian since that time. If there's a winner tonight.
Well, the Red Russian was after we won the Stanley Cup again.
Did I do one that night?
You did.
And then I've had 2 Red Russians since that time. And one of which was not for the one was for the ACC. Was it the regular season title? I forget what it was. A couple years, like a couple basketball
what the
seasons
hell?
ago.
We're passing out Red Russians. We're just having
Come
a good time.
Let's get one. Room temperature. It's got to be room temperature.
Oh, it's got to be god awful. That's the whole deal.
You have to feel the miserable Moscow feeling.
Yeah. Well, and then you need to hear the beating of the table. That's right, Freddie. Red Russians all around. That's exactly what we have.
That's exactly it. Wow.
I nailed that pitch perfect, didn't I? That's well.
We could have re-recorded it if we needed to right there.
I had to get into character. I had to be able to do that. I might have bounced my fists off of a bar table a time or two and order drinks for all. You never know, especially if you're in a good mood and you've won yet another wager. So we'll watch tonight. We'll cross our fingers. Got an NBA game tonight, too. Got 2. Good job out of you. Good job, Matthew. Be well, everybody. Have a great evening, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.